It is the 2025 Apollo Mechanical Cup at Seafair, and it is Heat 1A. Boats are coming out on the race course. We will have them here. 1, 2, 3 boats, 4 boats. Everybody is away from the dock.
So just a reminder, at a minute 15, they basically stack up behind the cross. They cross the line at a minute 15, and at that point their lanes are determined. But up until that point, they can jostle for lane choice. They can cut the course. They just have to. Before that minute 15, it's 7 boat lengths. Is that correct? They can't cross in front of someone unless there's a 7 boat lengths or a rooster tail.
It's 5 boat lengths or a rooster tail length during the pre-race. During the milling period, which we're watching right now, it becomes 7 during the racing.
Got it.
And the only other thing I'm going to say there, I'll just correct, is the score-up buoy is at 115. They can still change lanes after they score up, but it is the entrance pin to turn 2. That is the point at which they are determining their lane, and they must bring that lane, whatever lane they are in at the entrance, to turn number 2 after the score-up. That's the line they must bring to the start-finish line. And as far as cutting the race course, you've got a course map there off to your right. You see it is pretty much wide open here for where the boats can cut front to back. Interesting development going on right there. You are looking at the U91, Andrew Tate, as he goes slowly up the backstretch here with 250. Andrew's setting himself right on an inside lane. He's serious. I think he won. Now, did somebody just jump inside of him? Jamie Nielsen did. He left the door open. Andrew Tate. Now watch J. Michael Kelly. See what Kelly does. Kelly can do a little leapfrog here. He is on the outside. Now Andrew gives it a squirt, and Andrew comes up, but Andrew chose. Andrew went through the rooster tail there. That was his choice. That was not a cut by Mike on him. And just like that, Andrew went from an inside lane. He's now sitting in lane number 3. Again, though, Tanner, these lanes could still change.
They have a minute, basically, to get from where they are entering turn 2 to get around to the start-finish, which is right on the exit of turn 2. Is that typical that the start-finish line is just after or turn 2, or is it usually further down the straightaway?
It varies from race course to race course. We got this one sitting pretty much in the middle.
Kind of in the middle. Okay.
Yeah, pretty much in the middle. The interesting boat here that we're not seeing on the screen right now is Corey Peabody. He is way behind everybody. Yeah. He is just now entering the top end of the race course. They have to come down at 2 minutes and 15 seconds. And we are still, 1 minute and 15 seconds. We're at a minute 35, so they're going to come crawling to the line. Watch and see if Corey doesn't do something here. Corey is still at the top end. You see him there on the left side of the screen.
And full speed for Corey now.
Yeah, now he could bring speed to the line. He could leapfrog all of them. This could be an interesting move. Watch Corey. He's coming up on an inside lane now. He's going to come up inside of Andrew Tate. Tate can't move now because Corey's there, and Andrew just steps up there on a legal score up at a minute 15, and like that, Andrew Tate has been pushed to the far outside. That was pretty interesting, Tanner. I'm surprised. I am very surprised that Andrew Tate left the door wide open there for Corey.
Well, he just, it's just his determination of how wide you lead the lane. I mean, do you have to literally sit on the wake of the boat off to your side in order to make sure it's 100% closed?
Pretty much, yeah. You really do, because somebody can try and squeeze themselves in there, although a lane is defined as 30 feet. 30 feet wide, and of course that is in the eyes of the chief referee because they don't have measuring sticks across the front of the boats. Anyway, 30 seconds. Now it is all about bringing your boat to the start-finish line here as the clock strikes 0. You see Andrew Tate out in front of everybody as we get to 20 seconds. He's going to be the one on the far outside, so he's got the furthest distance to go. Got all 4 boats up there, Tanner. This could be a good start.
Yeah. J. Michael Kelly a little bit far behind, but he's trying to build up to speed. We haven't seen Andrew Tate choose the inside line all year, to be honest, and we come down with 5 seconds.
And we are 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark, going to be a legal start. J. Michael Kelly's going to break the clock in the U8, the Beacon Electric. He is coming down. He's going to have the lead getting down to the bottom end of the race course. The start is clean. Now, who's going to get out first? It's going to be J. Michael Kelly. And Corey Peabody got terribly wet down there. I don't know exactly what happened to him. I did not see it. We will go back and check it. But right now, our leader up the backstretch is J. Michael Kelly in the U8, the Beacon Electric. Corey Peabody is down in the first turn. Kelly on an inside lane. He's inside of Andrew Tate. He's still got Jamie Nielsen inside of him, but he's going to have to work on keeping Tate on his right side rear view mirror, Tanner.
Great exit at turn 2 for Tate, and this is something he's been doing all season, is getting good clean exits and riding the outside line and just using outright boat speed to catch his competitors.
Now they got to be careful of Corey Peabody down there. They've got spotters that are telling him where he is. We are on lap 2 of 3. Remember, we only go 3 times around here in our prelims. Corey's trying to get refired down there. Kelly went inside of him. I don't know, and there goes Andrew Tate on the outside. Tate has gotten past Kelly. He's out by about 2.5 boat lengths. There's that shoot speed, straight out speed from Andrew Tate.
Yeah, I mean, his whole ruse of getting on the inside lane early in that race before the race could have been just that, a ruse, because he's made that outside lane work all year.
He certainly has. Coming off the top end of the race course, Kelly makes up ground on the inside lane, but it is still Andrew Tate Goodman Real Estate. He is going to come down a complete lap number 2 of 3, and he's now opened up about 2/3 of a rooster tail on J. Michael Kelly, who still sits off to his left on the inside lane. I don't think Tate's going to close the door on him. He doesn't really have enough room to do it, so I'm sure he'll stay right where he is, keeping an eye on Corey Peabody. Both boats go inside him up the backstretch, and now Andrews opened up almost a rooster tail, Tanner. He's got this one in control if he can get through the north turn clean.
Yeah, he sure does, and the water is actually great on that on the top of the course. Getting a little bit rough in turn 1, but turn 2 looks like something they can completely commit to.
J. Michael Kelly makes up ground on the inside, but he's going to run out of real estate. And here comes Andrew Tate, U91 Goodman Real Estate. Perfect boat ride from an outside lane. He'll pick up a first in our first Heat 1A. And here is second place to J. Michael Kelly in the U8, the Beacon Electric. Third place, going to go to the Miss Flavor Pack and Jamie Nielsen. But you're looking at Andrew Tate at the bottom end of the race course. And where is Corey? Is Corey running anywhere on the race course? I do not see him.
He's straight across on the back straightaway. Yep.
He is still down. And if that is the case, that is a costly heat. We were talking about national high points, Tanner, and how quickly it can change. And we are being told now officially there is no call on the water in turn 1. So that's a big deal. That means that one, if any question you had there is completely off the table. There is no call down there, that from the chief referee. So now let's go down to the pit area. I think our Erica Allreed is standing by with our winner, Andrew Tate. Erica, take it away.
And you're kicking off the weekend on the highest note possible with that heat victory. What did that drive require from you as a driver as you had to go around the outside of J. Michael Kelly?
Yeah, I'm not sure if Mike was legal at the start. If he was, he nailed it. But we were coming with a head of steam, and we were able to run him down. We got a really fast boat. The Goodman guys here at BWR Racing really put a nice piece of equipment underneath me. So, yeah, hell of a start to the weekend.
And we saw some things happen out on course there with Corey Peabody, and you were debriefing with your team there and saw a couple of marks on the boat that weren't there initially. Can you take us through possibly what had happened?
Yeah, Corey was in the tunnel there going into turn 1, and I guess he got into someone's tail, and there was definitely some pieces there waiting for me the next time I came around. So hopefully he's okay, and hopefully the Beacon guys are okay with their boat. But unfortunately, it looks like they're going to have some work to do to get ready for the next one.
Well, congratulations on that performance. We look forward to seeing you back out there in Heat 2.
Thank you.
3:25 until the start. Jeff Bernard comes down across start-finish line. He is on an inside line right now. Where is Dave? Is Dave even away from the dock? No, he's not. He's coming out right now. And again, this is the same thing he did last week in the Tri-Cities. Every single heat, he was the last boat out on the race course, and he just came out and tooled slowly up the backstretch. You going to do it again?
Well, he did it exactly 3 minutes at Tri-Cities. I was watching his guys literally count it down to push the boat off the dock. He's 10 seconds early this time. Must have just felt right. Followed right in line. He doesn't need a warm-up lap. I mean, he's, like you said, he can get around here blindfold. And but the other boats are slowing on the inside as well, almost ready for his strategy this time.
Yeah, and I think right now at 2:40 until the start, I think that Bernard there on the inside and Gunnar O'Farrell in lane 2, I think they're just going to continue to cruise around, and they'll come down and score up at the minute 15 mark. They've got a little over a minute to kill. Dave's going to come up behind him, and Dave's coming up with a lot more speed than he did last week. Let's see what Dave does. He's going to pull up on the outside, but now that's going to make those two guys off to his left have to think about this a little bit, because Dave could give it a squirt and move left. He could certainly do that on Gunnar. Now it's interesting, Gunnar's on an inside lane right now, not the inside lane, but he's at least sitting in between boats. He still has plenty of time if he wants to move to the outside.
Yeah, it's the first time we've seen Gunnar fighting for the inside. All the boats giving each other a lot of respect there. So maybe there's some shenanigans to be had after they cross the start-finish line, but they have 30 seconds before the score-up is complete.
And actually, I don't think anything's going to change. I think these guys like where they are. I think Jeff wanted to be in lane number 1. I think Dave wants to be on the outside. I think, honestly, Dave in the back of his mind thinks I've got this field covered, and I think he will just take his time and run them down on the outside. Gunnar has found himself now on an inside lane, coming up on 1:20. Remember, you cannot cross the start-finish line until 1 minute and 15 seconds. That's 2 seconds, 1 mark right there. It's a clean score. Now Dave gives it a little squirt. So does Jeff. Jeff says no, but the key is so does Gunnar. Gunnar is in between boats, so Gunnar is doing his job to protect that lane inside Dave and Jeff.
Now Gunnar may find himself in the hallway, as it were, in turn 1, which, I mean, it's what an amazingly difficult, technical, dangerous place to be. So for Gunnar, it's going to be critical that he gets right on the clock for this start and gives himself a clean turn 1.
And I can hear Mr. Jeff Bernard in there right now saying something about turnabout is fair play, because it was those same two boats last week, except it was Jeff Bernard that got caught in the hallway and was given ground to the boats on either side, and it got very, very difficult. Top end of the race course. Boats are going to come down. This time we will be racing. The lanes they are in now are the lanes they are going to race in. Going to be Bernard in 1. Going to be Gunnar O'Farrell in lane number 2 on the outside. It is going to be Dave Villwalk. We have lost our clock here. We're inside 15. We're coming up on 10 seconds. In fact, now we're down to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark, I think it's a clean start if our clock was right, but Jeff had to pull back on the throttle, so he didn't have boat speed, and Gunnar and Dave are both going to pull up on him. It's a clean start down to the lower corner. Jeff Bernard going to come out with a 3 or 4 boat length lead, but he's got Gunnar and Dave right in that right side rear view mirror.
Gunnar survived that first turn. Dave is just teeing it up now, trying to add that boat speed. Sure enough, Dave on the outside of Gunnar's made the pass. Gunnar's going to have to shoot through the hallway in turn 2. But Jeff extending his lead coming into turn 2 after first lap.
Yeah, careful, Gunnar. You're back there going to be in the hallway, and Gunnar is sticking his nose in there. But Jeff Bernard showing some serious speed here. There's Dave. Where's Gunnar? There he is. Lots of lane space up there. Dave has gotten around Gunnar, and he's going to set sail for Jeff Bernard. Jeff does not want to give this position up. This is going to be good. Gunnar is dropping back. Jeff's got about 2/3 of a rooster tail, but he's got a right side mirror full of Dave Villwalk, Tanner.
Well, at this point, Dave is probably still too close to cut it all the way into lane 2. Gunnar doing a great job of hugging the inside. Actually, Gunnar crosses over. Is he looking for the inside lane? He sure is. But Jeff still extending, well, holding his lead. Dave is really chasing him down, actually.
He certainly is, but Jeff Bernard, he is no stranger to this position. He knows what to do. Watch how the line changes as he goes through this corner. Is he going to stay tight? Is he going to go wide? Jeff is going to go wide. He's going to make Dave run a big course up there at the top end. They're going to come down and put lap number 2 of 3 in the books. And it is Jeff Bernard, and he's going to have to hold off Dave for one more lap. And right now, he's open the water. He's got a rooster tail and a half.
Yeah, he sure is, and he did exactly what you said. He started out tight and pushed Dave wide on the last one, and that cost Dave probably 5 boat lengths. I'm not sure he's got enough to make up for it, and he's doing the same thing at the top of the course.
Yeah, he is doing the same thing. It's called hiding the buoys. When you get a guy on your hip like that, they can't see the buoys. they can't see him, so they've got to drive off your arc. He's got radio guys trying to tell him, and I think the radio guys just told Dave, let him go. This is the final lap there at the top end. It seemed like Dave pulled his foot a little bit, and now he has definitely dropped back. Jeff Bernard, here's a surprise in our Heat 1B. Jeff Bernard, the former T6 Budweiser, after a tough weekend last weekend on the Columbia River, opens up with a bang here, and on the water, he has got a first place finish. Wow, how about that one?
Well, I'm starting to feel a little bit like bad luck. I had picked Jeff Bernard last weekend for the pick the prop, and he broke 2 props,
Yeah.
which I think might be a world record.
How about that for Jeff Bernard?
Yeah, that's great. And, Dave, he did seem like he had the speed to run him down after the first lap. But as soon as he did exactly like he said he would and pushed him a little bit wide, that was that.
Jeff, congratulations on that performance. Your first heat victory since San Diego of 2022. What was the main ingredient in piecing that one together?
Just get lane 1. We tested and qualified great this morning. Our qualifying was just a smidge over, so we knew we had a good boat. We were right around the 150 range. Get lane 1, obviously, with Apollo out there and Gunner. They were fast last weekend, so just getting a good start in position. But thank you, Rob Graham Trucking, and this whole team. We've been just busting our butts for 5 months, and then when the prop came off, man, long week, so this feels good.
Does it make this performance even sweeter?
Yeah.
To say the least. Well, congratulations, Jeff. We look forward to seeing you out there in GPs.
Thank you.
And if it sounds like it's a tight race or looks like it's a tight race between Corey at 28.09, J. Michael Kelly 27.86, and Andrew at 27.75, the top 5, look down to Dave. He's at 26.19, and Nielsen is at 2,500. Do some quick math there. It's only 309 points between first place Corey Peabody and fifth place Jamie Nielsen. Holy smoke. And considering you get 300 points for a second place finish out here, that's about as tight a national high points race as you could possibly have at this point in the season. So Corey gave up a lot of ground in that last heat because he scored 0 points. It's one thing not to win the heat, but it's another not to finish and get a goose egg. That's going to cost Corey Peabody. He still hangs on to the lead, albeit not by very much. 4 minutes and 10 seconds. 4 minutes, 10 seconds to the start of H1 Unlimited, Heat 2A. Again, looking at the boats that are going to be running here, you're looking at the U11, the Miss Flavor Pack. That is Jamie Nielsen. You get a good look at Jamie here. There he is. There's the young man from Gig Harbor, Washington. Played college baseball at Central Washington University and set many, many records there. Boy, this is going to be a little tough for me to call. I'm in such a habit of calling Corey Peabody aboard that white U9, but as Corey comes ripping, right out of the box I did it, as Corey comes ripping across the course, that is J. Michael Kelly, and there's that first squirt. He finally just touched it and said, okay, now I know what this thing feels like, as he comes down the front straightaway at speed.
Yeah, I haven't had the opportunity to drive too many teammates' cars, but when you do, your logging radar is on full alert. You're paying such close attention because you've been making your own preconceived notions about what the boat is capable of, in my case, what the car is capable of, as you've been side by side and watch what it could and couldn't do compared to yours. But yeah, believe me, J. Michael Kelly, like you said, he's got a job to do here, but it'll be interesting to see what his opinion is of the boat afterwards.
And looking still for Gunnar O'Farrell. I have, unless he's hiding somewhere on the race course, I do not see Gunnar. We've got 3 of our 4 boats. You're looking there at the U11, the Miss Flavor Pack, and Jamie Nielsen. Right behind him is Andrew Tate in the U91, the Goodman Real Estate. And here comes, I almost said it again, and you can see they've thrown a different fairing on that boat on the outside. When you get a look at the outside of J. Michael Kelly's ride, here you'll get a good look. There you see some of the patch job there on the outside of the right sponsor, and then it's that plain white fairing on the right side going up to the wing. So they've kind of patched this thing together, got a new air scoop on it. Well, coming up on 2 minutes to the start And Mike is going to go up to the top end of the course. Unfortunately, it looks like we're not going to see Gunnar O'Farrell, not getting any word out of the pit area as yet as to what may have happened with the U21 Spirit of America.
Well, J. Michael Kelly, interesting enough, didn't play any of the games, any of the battle for the inside. He literally just got 2 siding laps. First time he's probably turned in anger into a corner in that boat. So important.
Yeah.
And it also shows the inherent differences that there are between the boats, because the guy with so much experience you would think could just jump in anything and drive it, but still need to go in and feel it out and see how it feels before you go full race pace.
And again, they have to stay behind the start-finish line until the 1 minute 15-second mark. You do not want to jump that line, and clearly they are not going to. I think we'll be fine. We are 2 seconds, 1 mark. So there's a minute 15. I think another piece to the puzzle there, and it's kind of what you're touching on, but it's a safety issue. I don't think Mike wants to put himself inside Andrew and go blowing into that lower corner, not knowing, to your point, how that boat's going to handle when it gets in an angry situation there in rough water coming out of turn 1 where he is right now. I think on the outside it's a good place for him to be. Coming up on 50 seconds to the start. It is Heat 2A of the Apollo Mechanical Cup at Seafair. We were hoping for a 4-boat field. We got 3. Andrew would love to pick up another 400 points here. Might be interesting to watch Jamie Nielsen and J. Michael Kelly as we come up on 30 seconds. Top end of the race course. The lanes are all set right now, Tanner. We're ready to go.
Yeah, they're locked in. As you said, that first yellow pin of turn 2 determines, so now the placements, the lane choices are locked. Usually about 9 to 10 seconds at that second buoy. We'll see how it times out here. They're at 13 seconds, 12 seconds, and on the throttle.
Yeah, we'll see how the timing marks work. They are all tied together here as they come down to the line. It's Nielsen, it is Tate, it is Kelly. We're 2-1 mark. And boy, they were right on the line. That was really close. We will watch the monitor, and the start is under review, as you might imagine. Kelly blows in with a lot of speed on the outside, and it is Andrew Tate going to come off the corner first. Got about 2 boat lengths on Jamie Nielsen, and now we're told that the start was clean, Tanner.
Boy, everybody was very, very close. Nielsen had to back way out of it. Andrew Tate also backed out of it a little bit. For a second there, it looked like J. Michael Kelly might have the most speed over the start line, but Andrew Tate showing the speed of that boat on the back straightaway and sending it into turn 2.
Yeah, and Kelly's rolling on the outside up the back straightaway. I think he's feeling that thing out for the straightaway. The corner might be a different story, but he might be smart to just let Andrew Tate go because he's really rolling. And J. Michael Kelly's going to have his hands full with Jamie Nielsen, who's got a lane position on him on the inside.
He sure is. He's going the long way around, but he does make the pass right across the start-finish line. Andrew Tate bouncing all over the place as they catch their own wake from the first lap, making it exciting by himself up front.
And look at Jamie Nielsen. Because of that, he picked up ground on Andrew Tate and really picked up ground on J. Michael Kelly. The difference there between Kelly and Nielsen is Kelly's running a great big race course, running out in lane number 3, but staying tight on the buoy row is Jamie Nielsen. Jamie's showing me some speed right now. He's running really hard up there, and he's staying in that left side rearview mirror of Andrew Tate.
Yeah, he sure is. Nielsen's able. He's got plenty of room from Andrew Tate there. So Nielsen in second. He's got plenty of room to work with on the inside. While J. Michael Kelly is kind of forced to the outside from Andrew's wake and taking a much, much longer way around. But he is gaining on him once again on the front straightaway.
Yeah, definitely the boat speed between our 2 boats for second place is J. Michael Kelly on the outside, but it's Nielsen with a huge lane position. And when they go through the corner, you can really see how much bigger course, how much of a larger course J. Michael Kelly is running than Nielsen. Nielsen now closes up a little bit on Andrew, and if JMK is going to make a move, he's going to have to do it right now, Tanner.
Yeah, that's for sure. He's he has cut the distance in half between himself, J. Michael Kelly, and Andrew Nielsen. But it may not be enough as they're coming in for the white. Oh, no, this is the final lap. For the final lap, Andrew Tate really stretching his lead really in the last lap.
And Andrew Tate is going to come down and pick up a checkered flag for a first place finish. Second place is going to go to Jamie Nielsen and the U11 to Miss Flavor Pack. And J. Michael Kelly, for the first time he has ever set foot in that boat, the U9, the Beacon Plumbing. J. Michael Kelly comes home in third. He's not going to get out of here disappointed completely. First time ever in the boat, at least he got points. It's better than leaving the boat on the trailer and coming home with a goose egg. So they will take those 225 third place points. But the boat I thought that ran really well was Jamie Nielsen again.
Yeah, Jamie, it didn't seem to be dramatic as we've seen in other courses. That inside lane gets chopped up on rivers, especially on the downriver corner. Here, more of a lake scenario, it seems like the inside lane is a bit cleaner.
Congratulations on that drive there. 2 for 2 to kick off things here this weekend. What went into those efforts we saw here today on the water from both driver and team?
Mostly from the team, I can say that. These guys have worked their butts off. I keep beating a dead horse, I'm sure, but they give me a great piece of equipment to go out there and do my job. So everything went smooth. It's unfortunate Corey wasn't here. Mike jumped in the 9, so I'm sure that was different for him, but he did the same thing I would have. He spent 5 minutes out there driving it, trying to figure it out before the start of the race. So, for them to get the boat back out there, congratulations to those guys. I know they worked really, really hard to make that happen, but Goodman Real Estate U91 sitting pretty right now.
And you always speak so highly about this boat and its capabilities. What makes it so special?
It starts with Mike Hansen and then everyone else underneath him. Mike's been doing it. I mean, I was a kid, I got to watch him race against my dad, and he was a crew chief and the driver, so he had a lot going on there back in the day, but all those lessons that he's learned in the past has definitely made him one of the more knowledgeable people in the sport, and it's just been a pleasure to work with him.
Another job well done here in Heat 2. Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
It is our Heat 2B of the Apollo Mechanical Cup at Seafair, and we are expecting 3 boats to come out on the water. They are the U-27, the Miss Apollo, the U-12, the Graham Trucking, and the U-8, the Beacon Electric. A little bit of a shock here. Dave Vilwalk must have extra fuel in the boat. He's coming out a full minute early than he has the last 3 or 4 times we've seen him run.
That's exactly right. He's usually out somewhere between 3 and 3:10, but it didn't work out maybe the way he had hoped on the last heat, so maybe he's had to go to strategy number 726 that's in his Rolodex to try to get his lane choice here moving forward.
I see him in there just licking his fingers, just dialing through the Rolodex. Look under B for beat Bernard. But Kelly's in the middle of this one too this time, and the young man, I hope he's in good shape because it takes a lot to drive one of these things, and he just hopped out of one, going to get in the other. 3 minutes and 32 seconds until the start. You watch J. Michael Kelly in his more familiar ride, the U-8, the Beacon Electric. That's him at the top of the screen coming off the top end of the race course. He is going to pull up behind and alongside Jeff Bernard, who just came across start-finish line. Dave's just crawling up the backstretch, though, again. Here he goes.
Sure is. Wow, but he's so early. He's going to have to just do 50 knots.
And you just saw J. Michael Kelly turn. He did not go all the way down to the bottom end of the race course. I've got my course map right here. That was definitely a legal spot to do that. Now, let's see what Mike does with Dave. And if he would like to move left, the door is wide open. But the question's going to be, is Bernard going to jump inside of him? And Dave doesn't seem to mind. He seems to just be saying, go ahead and go. Got to have, and Jeff's going to go all the way to 1. Watch this. Top end of the race course. Now Jeff, as he gets to the entrance to the corner, he basically shuts it down in lane 1. So right now it is Jeff Bernard in 1. J. Michael Kelly is in 2. And Dave Vilwalk, it was just like, I'm here. You all see me. Go ahead. Go around. Jump in. He didn't defend it at all.
You never know. I mean, you just never know what they're geared for, what lane they actually want. Sometimes it seems like they pose to put up a big fight for lane 1, and then at the last second they decide they want the outside lane.
So now we got the crawlers coming, and this is now watch Dave at the top end. Dave's going to start putting his foot in it. Dave is going to come around because Jeff Bernard and J. Michael Kelly are just absolutely plowing water, and we know how dangerous this could be. We still are at a minute 50. And we got a stall time to $1:15. So we'll keep an eye on it. They're going to be legal. It's just what Dave might be able to do, and he is going all the way to the outside course marker, what we call the insurance buoy, as we come up on a minute 35. the world's fastest race boats. You could troll for salmon out there right now at that speed.
Now, if Dave is able to pick up a huge amount of speed and cross the line, clear them by at least 7 boat lengths and a rooster tail, can he then go to the inside?
Absolutely, you do. And watch Mike. Does Mike want to do it? They're going to get on the phone. We're at 1:15 now. Mike, is he going to try and jump across Bernard? I don't know if he is, but right now he does not have enough room to do that. He does not have enough room at all. Don't get wet down there, Jeff. And he did not. He did not. Mike did not have enough overlap there. He had to have 5 or a rooster tail. He didn't get it, so Mike's going to run in lane number 2. Jeff Bernard comes up there and says, I know what you were trying to do, buddy, but no, I wasn't going to let you have enough for an overlap. And then on the far outside, seemingly unamused with this entire game, is the U-27, the Apollo, and just like that, suddenly the sun comes out.
Sure
Starting
does.
to get a little bit brighter here on Lake Washington. 3 boats up at the top end of the race course. Graham Trucking, U12, lane 1 with Jeff Bernard. Lane number 2 goes to J. Michael Kelly and the U8, the Beacon Electric. The U27 Miss Apollo is on the outside with Super Dave Vilwalk coming up on 15 seconds to the start. 15. Jeff, you might be able to put your foot in it out of here and come on down. Let's see what the timing mark is. Don't get too early, Jeff. We're coming up on 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And I think it's legal, and if it is, Bernard schooled him on the start. He didn't have a lot of boat speed, but he certainly had a rooster tail lead. Jeff Bernard, and the start is clean. Jeff Bernard got the good start. Right now, the race is behind him. J. Michael Kelly is running in second place off the corner, but you know Dave Vilwalk is right with him, Tanner.
Good gosh, Dave Willock, he amazes me all the time. He's just right with him around the corner. He's absolutely fearless, and he's got some boat speed on the back straightaway. But Jeff Bernard just checking out up front.
Jeff Bernard is driving the daylights out of the U12, the Graham Trucking, and he is at the top end of the race course. The race is for second place, but Jeff Bernard, look how wide he went up there at the top end, and he pushed the other 2 boats way out wide. Kelly is just on the inside of Ilwalk. They're virtually dead even as they come down to put lap number 1 of 3 in the books. Oh, and Dave really flew the 27. He pulled his foot a little bit, but he didn't lose a whole lot of speed. The race is for second place. Jeff Bernard's got a rooster tail down at the bottom end of the race course. We're halfway through the race, Tanner, and the race is back for second.
Boy, both of these guys are just absolutely so aggressive coming out of the exit of the corner, lifting the boat directly in the air as soon as they exit the corner. And you can see that Dave is just fearless. He did that in practice as well at that exact same part of the lake. But J. Michael Kelly is extended to about 4 boat lengths over Dave.
Yeah, he's opened up a little bit of water now. Jeff Bernard again comes out wide, going to make Kelly run the big wide race course here. Then Mike try and cut to, I thought for a moment there that Mike may have tried to move to the inside, but he did not. It wouldn't have worked, I don't think, because radio guys would have told Bernard what was going on behind him. But Jeff Bernard in the U12, the Graham Trucking, is surprising everybody here today. He got a first place finish in his first heat. He is less than a lap away from doing it again, and he's beaten J. Michael Kelly this time, Tanner. He's putting on a show.
He is 100% making a statement here. You know, we never got to see the speed of Tri-Cities with that thrown prop, and he is showing that he's here to play for sure against some of the top boats on the water.
Yeah, our boats are really strung out now. J. Michael Kelly has opened up about a 2 rooster tail lead over Dave Vilwalk for third. Kelly's still playing around in the back of the rooster tail of Jeff Bernard, but it's not going to do him any good. Jeff Bernard has put 2 heats on the water. He's got 2 first place finishes. You better not count this guy out. U12, Jeff Bernard with a first place. He hits a big roller as he comes across, flies the boat, settles it down. Second place will go to J. Michael Kelly, and third will go to Dave Vilwalk, who determined discretion was a better part of valor there and pulled his foot and said, I'll just take my third place points before I break something here. Points are so important, but I think the story so far of the Apollo Mechanical Cup at Seafair is the U12 Jeff Bernard Graham Trucking.
Well,
we didn't even see the boat until yesterday morning.
No, it's incredible. And you watch it profile here from our standpoint. You watch it cruise along the water, and it looks smooth, it looks controlled. But when you see that head-on camera angle that we get just as they exit the second corner, you can see how rough the water is. I mean, the boats are just getting kicked and bucked the whole time. You can see the canard twitching up and down as they use that left foot to determine exactly how high they want the nose of the sponsons out of the water. It's a busy time for those guys out there.
Jeff executing that start and milling period to absolute perfection. How much of that win do you attribute to that start?
Well, all of it. We got a good jump at the start. We knew we had to get lane 1. It's tough with Jay Michael out there. Tim Collins was my radio guy back when I drove the U91. I know how good that they are at pre-race strategies, so we had to do our hardest to get lane 1. I thought we were going to be a little bit early on the 115 and be a sit and duck there for a leapfrog, but we were able to block it off. And man, I can't thank Rob Graham Trucking, and this whole team. This is awesome. If you would have told me 2 days ago we were going to be 2 for 2 going into Sunday, I would have laughed at you. But this is all the hard work of those guys in the red shirt, and I'm just a lucky guy that gets to sit in the driver's seat.
And this is the first time since Gunnersville of 2021 that you've won back-to-back heats. Is it safe to say you're back acclimated to an unlimited seat?
Yeah, I mean, that boat's really easy to drive. We got to find a little bit more speed so we don't have to fight as hard, but Tom Anderson does a great job. Every time we go out, the boat's a little bit different, and it's handling great. So I can't thank Scott Kropfeld. He's my GP crew chief. He's been out here during the whole off-season project, ripping the right side of the boat off. If it wasn't for him this week, I don't know if we would have made it. He did a lot of that work while some of us went to work during the day and then showed up at night to help them. And this is it's all those guys.
A radiant effort by you and Team 2 get to this point. Congratulations on this one. Guys, back to you.
It is the 91, the Goodman Real Estate, the U9 with Corey Peabody in the Beacon Plumbing, the U21, the Spirit of America, Gunnar O'Farrell, and rounding out our 4-boat field, the U12, Jeff Bernard and the Graham Trucking. Boats are coming out of the pit area and on to the Ted Jones Race Course. It's time to go racing. It is the 2025 Apollo Mechanical Cup at Seafair. It is Heat 3A. Boats coming out on the race course. First boat away from the dock. Looks like it was Jeff Bernard, I believe. Nope, nobody's up in front of him, so that would be Jeff Bernard that got out on the race course first. He will work his way up the backstretch with 4 minutes and 14 seconds on the clock. You see Jeff going past the log boom here. Here comes Andrew Tate, U91. He's going to come up on the inside of Gunnar O'Farrell and went past the gun dog as they were headed up the backstretch. Inside 4 minutes, inside 4 minutes. I see 1, 2, 3 of our boats. Oh, now we got all 4. There's Corey. He's going slowly up the backstretch. All 4 boats are on the water. Here comes Jeff Bernard. Tanner, he's going to come down here looking at 3 minutes and 41 seconds. He's following Andrew Tate across start-finish line.
Now, Andrew Tate, interesting about this course that there are not really very many designated places where they can cut the course. They can do almost all of the course except just that middle section. And Andrew Tate there cut the course on one of the shorter parts of the track up there at the top. Rather than other courses, it seems like you can only go right through the middle. It was an interesting overlap there with Jeff Bernard, but he didn't stay up in front there. He's let Jeff Bernard run ahead of him and get settled on the inside lane.
Yeah, Jeff is out in front now of Andrew Tate as they start up the backstretch. That is Jeff Bernard. You saw up the backstretch. He's the one furthest up the backstretch, and he's going very slowly. And coming up behind him there on the right side of your screen at the 250 mark is Andrew Tate in the 91, the Goodman Real Estate, and just now entering into the bottom end of the race course is Gunnar O'Farrell and Corey Peabody. Gunnar, just for the mention of it, Gunnar is on the outside of Corey. Corey is on the inside, but you're looking at the 2 boats up there at the top end of the race course, and to remind our fans, they're going to go around the top end of the race course, and then they have to be behind the start-finish line, right in front of you and me. They have to be behind that line at the 1 minute and 15 second mark. That is the score up. And if somebody were to jump the score up, they will be radioed by the officials up above, and that boat will be told to slow down, drop back, and move to the outside.
So you just go to the outside line. There's no time penalty. You don't
There
have to
is
start 5 seconds back or anything like that.
Nothing like that. You just simply get moved to the outside. That was one of the big adjustments we made. We didn't want to be penalizing boats and taking them out of competition before the heat even got started, so we just make them go to the outside.
Now you notice a little bit windier today than it was yesterday, and where Jeff Bernard just was at the top of the course at the apex, the rollers from the previous lap were sitting right on the inside lane. We didn't have that necessarily yesterday, so that could add an element for whatever driver chooses that inside lane.
Yeah, and you can actually see them there. Now keep an eye on Corey here. Corey's coming with a head of speed. That's the boat on the left at the top end. Have we got a leapfrog coming here? Jeff can't go anywhere, and Jeff's got about 4 seconds to kill. 2, 1. Mark going to be legal. Now, can Corey get past Andrew Tate? I do not think so. Those are the two boats coming hard down to the lower corner. It requires 5 boat lengths or a full rooster tail, whichever is longer, before Corey could move left. Andrew is doing what we call defending that inside lane, and he defended it well.
He sure did. So in that case, Jeff Bernard just a little bit early to the line, had to slow down. The faster boat's able to get a legal overlap to take lane 1 and 2 with Andrew Tate getting all the way to the inside.
Actually, lane 1 is still open. If Jeff wants to jump in there, there's plenty of room, and Jeff is on an inside lane. It's the boat on the far right, back behind the field, and I think Andrew's going to give him lane 1. I think Andrew, and if you talk to somebody like John Walters, he'll say lane 2 is the place to be on this particular race course. We'll see how it plays out, but now Jeff is pulling up at the 20-second mark. He is going to have lane 1. Tate's going to be in 2. Corey's going to be in 3. Gunner's going to be on the far outside. Jeff has already put the hammer down. Jeff is coming inside lane 1. This could be a good-looking 4-boat start as they come down. We're coming up on 5 seconds. We're 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark right there. We are racing. Gunnar O'Farrell, the first across the line. I think the start was clean. Should be good, and it is. We've got it on the screen. A clean start. They're going 4 wide to the corner, and it's going to be Andrew Tate coming around the turn first. Bernard is on the inside, but back about 5 boat lengths, and Corey is just outside Andrew Tate. Corey said he didn't think he was going to have as much power, Tanner. We'll see right now what he's got. Up the backstretch, he is about 3, make it 4 or 5 boat lengths back of Andrew Tate.
Still putting on a good race. Andrew Tate obviously made his intentions known at the last bit there to keep lane 2. Again, this is the bumpier turn at the very top there, and Corey losing a little bit of ground entering into the turn 2. But Andrew certainly seems to make up a lot of distance on the straightaway. Here you have Jeff Bernard actually making up ground on Corey Peabody just in the first lap with 3 to go.
Yeah, this is some of what we saw yesterday. Man, I'll tell you what, Andrew Tate's really flying the 91. But it's some of what we saw yesterday. Corey's in a tough spot right now because Bernard's got that inside lane, and he's getting plenty of lane space being given to him by Andrew Tate. Yet Corey Peabody's having to drive all the way around both of them, so it's a big race course right now for Corey Peabody. And don't think for 1 minute Andrew Tate doesn't know exactly what he's doing by making sure he gives Bernard enough room back there.
I was just about to ask you that question. Is he talking to the spotters, making sure that he gives Bernard a chance to take those second place points away from his rival in the points?
That is exactly what's going on, and believe me, that's what the spotters are saying. Corey can't worry about Andrew Tate right now. He's got to try and run down Jeff Bernard, and we've come down to put 2 of 3 in the books. It is still Andrew Tate, but the race is for second place. Corey Peabody going to try and run down Jeff Bernard on a great big race course. Bottom end of the race course, there you see Andrew Tate. He's got the nice, look at the amount of lane space he's given Jeff as they get to the exit pin right there. There is Andrew flying the boat up the backstretch, but it is Jeff Bernard. This is the race. He's got about 3 boat lengths on Corey. Corey wants those second place points, Tanner. I don't know if he's going to be able to get them.
He sure does. It could come down to track condition as we get into the final corner of the race. You can see from that airborne shot a lot of ripples there in lane 1, but Jeff Bernard right on the inside lane goes ahead and takes some of that rough water, but shortening the course enough that he may have got the job done.
3 up and 3 down for Andrew Tate, the U91 to Goodman Real Estate, and Corey Peabody's going to make a charge for second, but he's going to come up just short of catching Jeff Bernard. Another very successful run for the U12 Jeff Bernard, and that's a tough spot for Corey Peabody to be in, trying to run down Jeff from a far, far outside lane. Our fourth place boat in the heat, Gunnar O'Farrell, comes home in the U21 Spirit of America. There he is on your screen. The 91 looks pretty dominant.
It looks super fast. I will say it's walking and bouncing and jumping a lot. I mean, is that you talk a lot about the boat ride. That was some of the roughest riding conditions I've seen the U91. That is normally the smoothest silk boat out there. And is that, indicative of this particular course or just the wind direction today?
I think it's a little bit of both. This is always an extremely rough race course, and what we get to see on some of those head-on shots is on the front straightaway, but on the backside, their weight goes over and it hits all those boats in the log boom, and then it comes right back at them, and they're parallel to their line of travel, and that makes it really, really rough. We are being told there are no calls on the water. That's always good. So it was clean out there, what we just saw.
Andrew, perfection so far, 3 for 3 with those runs. How optimistic are you about closing it out this afternoon?
I don't know. I guess hopefully no one believes in the commentator's curse. So I guess we'll see here at 2:55. But it's nice to get into the final with all the points on the table. Congratulations to everyone here at the Goodman team, BWR Racing. We've had a really, really strong weekend, and it's a kind of a breath of fresh air coming from last weekend. We had a little bit of shooting ourselves in the foot there, and rough Sunday in Tri-Cities. So to get this Sunday started off right, it feels real good.
And coming off the course, you said that the water was very deceiving, as Tanner and Brad had pointed out, that it looked like a rougher ride. So how were you able to navigate it for this top spot?
It's easier when you're out front and you can kind of see what's coming, to be honest with you. But yeah, there was some weird rollers out there. I'm sure we've got people pulling up on the log boom that aren't helping, but that's part of the game here at Seattle. It's I don't know, it's almost more like a river course, to be honest with you, in its own aspect and in its own way. So it's always a challenge. It'll be super challenging with 6 boats out there in the final. So we'll see what's going on. You're tickling my chin with that thing.
Another job well done here today. Best of luck in the final. Back to you guys.
It's one thing to have them sitting there at the dock and you look at the race team and they are thrashing left and right. But they're not. This is what their plan has been. They just come out here and they take their time and come out when they want, and Dave's got his strategy. So boats are coming out on the race course. It is our Heat 3B with 4 minutes and 5 seconds. You're looking at J. Michael Kelly as he is off the lower corner and up the backstretch. Ahead of him is Jamie Nielsen driving the U11, the Miss Flavor Pack. There you get the bird's eye view looking down on the race course. The first boat coming up the back chute there is Jamie, and then behind him is J. Michael Kelly. See if Kelly cuts the course. He does not. He's going to go up there with Jamie and come around behind him. I'm keeping an eye down to the... Oh, here we go. We got it right there on the screen. Have to have a crew member with a hand on the boat at the 5-minute mark. That's not necessary at the 3-minute and 28-second mark as Spider lets go of the back of the boat there. Got a couple of boats coming down the front straightaway. It is our Heat 3B of the 2025 Apollo Mechanical Cup at Seafair on Lake Washington. Now this is interesting because Dave comes out on the race course just as our other 2 boats go down to the lower corner right in front of Dave. So Dave will come out to the outside of them and behind them. There you see Dave on the left-hand side of the screen. So nothing special right now. Are we going to stay like this? Is Mike comfortable letting Jamie have that inside lane to the left?
Well, I mean, Andrew Tate certainly demonstrated lane 2 is not bad. So it may be a place to go if you feel like you got the boat speed. Jamie Nielsen, on the other hand, had that success on the inside lane before, so maybe he wants to dip at the same fruit today. And yesterday also, Vilwalk tended to let the 2 insiders fight for it and ride around the outside, looking to just maximize that momentum and boat speed.
Yeah, I thought Dave might do something kind of fun here, but looking at the clock, they really don't have the opportunity here from a time perspective because they're coming up on 2:10. They got to stay behind this start-finish line at the 1 minute 15 second mark. So these guys are going to have to kill a minute, and all three of them are bunched up there. Looking at 1, 2, 3. Nielsen in 1. It's Kelly in 2. Dave says, "All right, I'll run you guys down on the outside. Let's see if it stays that way." Coming up on 150.
Now, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but yesterday it was kind of the same scenario, and Dave was on the outside and may have thought that he could run down Nielsen, but Nielsen just never gave an inch.
No.
And he held that inside lane and ended up taking the heat.
Yep, and I know they've changed some things around on the U11 today, and they expect to be stronger today than they were yesterday. So I'm going to kind of keep an eye on them here. I don't think our score up is in danger of being illegal. I think they can put their foot in it a little bit and come down because we're inside 120. Got to kill about 5 seconds. Not going to have a problem doing that. 115 right there. Certainly a clean score up. Dave's going to try and do it on the outside. This could be a very, very interesting heat. It's 3B, Heat 3B of the Apollo Mechanical Cup at Seafair. It's the last opportunity for our boats to earn points to get themselves in a good position on the front row of the final. Jamie Nielsen's going to be in lane 1. J. Michael Kelly is going to be in 2. Vilwalk going to be on the outside. And Tanner, you've been pointing out the rough water up there at the top end of the course. They just slowly plowed through there the last time.
That is a consideration on that score up. The slower they go, deeper in the water they are, and the bigger the wake. So you can already see that ripple starting to form on the inside. We'll see if it's sitting in the race line or not.
Yeah, if we get that drone shot, we could see it in the last heat. There you see it right there. Now look ahead of the boats there in the lower right corner of the screen. You can see the wake that they left the last time through. So it's a bit soupy up there. But they will come off the corner. They've all been through it. They are off the corner with 12 seconds. And now it's time to put the foot down. Make sure you get to the line, not over it, before the clock strikes 0. We are coming up on 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark appeared to be a clean start from here, but we will get it officially. And J. Michael Kelly with a dynamite start, and he's going to get down there first, but take a look at Jamie Nielsen. He's right with him, Tanner.
Sure enough, you can see the shorter course. We did get a clean start there, although he was right on the mark at the start-finish line. Again, Jamie Nielsen running a slightly shorter course, but J. Michael Kelly running a little bit higher speed on the larger radius, and it pays off down the back straightaway.
Yeah, Kelly's able to open up some water on him there. He got about 3 boat lengths. Dave's back about 2/3 of the rooster tail, so he's back a ways. The race is out front. Look at Jamie Nielsen on an inside lane, getting a good line. They're going to come off tied together. If Nielsen's got some acceleration, he needs to put it on now, but Kelly's definitely showing some top end. Kelly's really moving. Kelly has got the first lap in the books with a lead on Jamie Nielsen, and he's got a lot of lane space off to his left. J. Michael Kelly, so he's given himself a lot of room. You see as they go through the corner, there's plenty of lane space between them, and there is J. Michael Kelly again sticking his nose out.
Just so dead even. I mean, the shortened course on the inside lane brings Jamie Nielsen back even and sometimes in the lead each turn, and then J. Michael Kelly with that larger radius, more momentum, more speed, pays off by the time they get to the end of the straightaway.
Top end of the race course. This is the second of 3 times around. Dave Vilwalk is back more than a full rooster tail. He is out of this one. It's J. Michael Kelly, and this time he starts to assert himself a little bit. He's got about 5 or 6 boat lengths as he comes down and puts the second of 3 laps in the books. Tanner Faust is just riveted looking at that rough water roll underneath that hydroplane.
Boy, the first half of that straightaway was just butter smooth. He catches some of the ripples at the end. I think Jamie Nielsen may have caught some of that wake on the top of the course as we were talking about as he rides through some of the wake again at the bottom, just allowing J. Michael Kelly to extend that lead.
I think it's time for Jamie Nielsen to say, okay, discretion, the better part of valor. I'm going to let you go, Mike. And Mike Kelly running hard up the backstretch is going to have a rooster tail and a half on the closest boat to him, which is the Miss Flavor Pack. And Jamie Nielsen in second place, although Nielsen's still pushing hard up there. Kelly gives him a ton of room. Driving him legal, as we say, and coming down to pick up the checkered flag. Heat 3B, J. Michael Kelly, the Beacon Electric, the U8. A good run for Mr. Kelly. Second place going to go right there. Jamie Nielsen in the Miss Flavor Pack, the U11, and Dave Vilwalk And the U27, the Miss Apollo, will come home in third. So we had some good racing out front. I think Dave was a little tardy at the start. He's going to have to look at those timing marks. You can't be on the outside and be 3 or 4 seconds behind these guys. You're going to get left.
Yeah, J. Michael Kelly right on the mark for the start.
Yes.
I mean, I was actually questioning that a little bit, and so relieved to see that clean start indicator. But a heated race for the first 2 laps. Pretty much dead even, what you would expect to see. Inside lane being a bit shorter around the corners, outside lane being a little faster on the straightaways. And it only took one burble, one little skip from Jamie Nielsen to give J. Michael Kelly the advantage.
Mike, in almost every conversation we've had, the theme's been the same. You've just needed to find a little more speed. Well, did you find it or did you find something? Because must I say, that was an incredible drive as you drove away from Jamie in the early stages of that one.
Yeah, no, Sundays seem to be our day of finding a little bit more speed. Always, I mean, we're all looking for more speed as the day goes on, but big changes from yesterday. Guys worked hard. They even worked into right all the way up until the time we went out and went testing this morning, made some changes, and boat ride feels amazing right now. The speed is finally coming in, and just super thankful for these guys for working hard and like giving up their free time when they could be doing other things. And they're here just sweating and working hard.
A team effort for sure. A job well done. We look forward to seeing you back out there.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Back to you guys.
We're inside 5 minutes. Look at that shot. 1, 2, 3, 4. H1 Unlimited hydroplanes coming out on the water. It is time now for the final heat of the Apollo Mechanical Cup at Seafair. H1 Unlimiteds. It's a winner-take-all 5-lap final heat. And as I just said, we will go around 5 times in this winner-take-all final. Look for this 5-minute period to be an interesting one. There's 2 boats we expect to be fighting for the inside. Jamie Nielsen, he is right now inside of Jeff Bernard as they go up toward the top end of the race course. Boat coming up. Now we're going to get a cut. Watch this. Here comes J. Michael Kelly. J. Michael Kelly's going to come across the course and try and jump in front of Jamie Nielsen and Jeff Bernard. He has successfully done that. There, you get a good look at it as comes off the top end of the race course. Jamie decided to just stay up there. Now, we saw this morning, Tanner. Look at Jamie Nielsen way up there at the top end. You can't even see him on our camera. He's barely moving.
I mean, he's got 2.5 minutes. Is he going to be able to go so slow that he can stay behind the 115 mark from there?
And the other piece to the puzzle, be able to defend the position if somebody wants to come around and have a whole bunch of boat speed.
Yeah, with 3,000 horsepower, they're still turbine boats. They don't pop out of the hole instantaneously. You got to get up on plane, then spool up, and then build the speed. So it says that we have seen a couple people leapfrog before the 115 mark.
All right, coming up on 3:15, there is Gunnar O'Farrell. You're looking right down the nail of that boat. He is going to be our trailer, so he will be on the outside. The rest of the field now is moving slowly up toward the top end, and that's where the interest is going to be. There's Dave Vilwalk. You see him going very slowly in the U27, the Miss Apollo. He's doing it on an inside lane, Tanner. We've been seeing him be happy enough to go to the outside, not this time around.
No, he is really holding that one tight. Looks like a little confusion on lane choice just behind him, though.
Somebody just popped and went down up there. I believe that was Corey Peabody. He's done it before. He is trailing the field. He is right at the entrance pin to the upper corner. Corey Peabody's got the candle lit, but he dropped down to ground idle again, and we've seen him do that. We're coming up on 2:25 until our start. Now 2:20. The boat, everybody's just crawling up there, and when you see smoke, that means somebody has dropped down. Where is Jamie Nielsen? Is halfway down the front straightaway. You've got these 4 boats coming ever so slowly. There's Jamie Nielsen. He is halfway between those boats and the start-finish line. He's sitting on an inside lane. Now you're going to have to watch and see. There's Dave Vilwalk. Great camera work right there. Dave Vilwalk is coming around the exit pin. He is starting to get up on a plane. plane. Now you're looking at, that was a flashback to Corey Peabody. Corey's going to be fine in this thing. If he wanted to really put his foot in it and come down hard, he could maybe leapfrog some people. So we are still looking at 135. This is not what I expected. This might be the slowest score up we've ever had, but right now Nielsen is in 1, Bernard is in 2, and now we got boats coming. Here comes J. Michael Kelly. Kelly's going to try and come down and leapfrog the field, but the other boats are going to get cold. Now watch Andrew Tate. He's coming with boat speed, and 115 appeared to be legal. The boats now start to put the pedal down. Andrew Tate got inside of J. Michael Kelly. I think Kelly had ideas that perhaps he was going to leapfrog some of the boats, but I'm telling you, the bad news right now is Corey Peabody is still up at the top end of the race course. He has yet to come down. His boat has gone down to ground idle, and quite honestly, it's going to be interesting to see if the officials will let him run right now, because he is in a bad spot, but now he's up and running. Corey Peabody was sitting in a bad spot, and I thought from a safety standpoint, they might want to get him out of there and maybe rerun this, but no. 35 seconds until the start. Top end, it is Jamie Nielsen sitting in 1. Nielsen is sitting in 1. We have Bernard sitting in 2. That looks like Vilwalk in 3. We've had a little bit of contact made between the U11 and the U12. A little paint rubbing apparently going on. The boats are still coming very, very slow to the line. It is Nielsen in 1, Bernard in 2. It is Andrew Tate in 3. It's Kelly in 4. We are inside 10 seconds. We're inside 5. We're 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh boy, and I think we may have boats across the line again. Just like we saw a week ago, Kelly's going to get down to the lower corner first, but he's outside and he's in lane number 4. Don't know what happened in there today, Vilwalk, but he got wet coming off the corner. It's Jamie Nielsen going to come off in first place, but oh boy, has he got company. He's got Tate and he's got Kelly with him, Tanner.
Boy, I think it could have been 3, possibly 4 boats over early, which would make things interesting here. Although the hallway's awfully narrow for Dave Vilwalk. He got squeezed right out of that, but a crazy race up the front.
All right, look at the boats off the top end. Jamie Nielsen takes a big hop up there, but he settles the boat back down. Nielsen is your leader, and we have 2 boats that we are being told have jumped the gun. That is the 8 and the 11, and we know what that means. That puts the 91 and Andrew Tate out front. Tough break on that. Start is still under review. They are still reviewing it, but we are being told the 8 and the 11 have jumped. Now it looks like one boat coming off the lower corner down there. It's Jamie Nielsen, but right outside him is Andrew Tate. Nielsen's running like a rocket, but we have been told they have jumped. They have jumped the start. So Andrew Tate, being legal, is on lap number 2 of 5. He's got about a 4-boat length lead.
Now all that
they
slow,
get to the top end. Yes.
All that slow trawling has just caused a white caps on the inside lane, which Jamie Nielsen is dealing with right now. Andrew Tate was able to get around it, but that's checked Jamie Nielsen up and given Andrew Tate a little bit of breathing room here at the lead.
Yeah, Andrew Tate is he's out front. He's in a good position. If we know those 2 boats have jumped the clock, so does he. I think this radio guy right now is just going to be telling him where the good water is to do exactly what you're talking about. Avoid those rollers that you're talking about. And there's a bunch of them up at the top end. Off the corner, off the bottom end of the race course on lap 3 of 5. You're looking at our leader. It's the U91. It is the Goodman Real Estate. Behind him and to his left is the yellow and blue of the Miss Flavor Pack, Jamie Nielsen's ride. But we have been told he jumped the start. We have been told also that J. Michael Kelly, who just flew the boat up the backstretch, that he has jumped the start. If that's the case, our second place boat is the U12 of Graham Trucking and Jeff Bernard. Here comes Andrew to put another one in the books. He will start lap number 4. We're still being told the start is under review, but we still have it that our 2 boats have jumped the gun, and I'm being told, yes, that is true. So they're obviously looking at something else on the water. Could there be another boat that could be across early? We just don't know at this point. We are on lap 4 of 5, and right now it is all Andrew Tate up the backstretch. He's got a rooster tail now on Jamie Nielsen in the U11. There is a lot to sort out on this one, Tanner, because it got messy down at turn 1, too.
It sure did, as we're on lap 4 or 5. I mean, on my eye, it looked like 3 jumped, which in which case Corey Peabody really needs to chase down Jeff Bernard to get himself up another notch on the rung. But maybe 2, could be 4 boats. It's just something that's got to settle out. But right now, the water is just getting rougher and rougher. Andrew Tate has made some changes to the boat, possibly because it's a smooth ride up front.
White flag lap right now for, where's Jamie? Oh, Jamie is still tucked inside of Andrew. He's still right with him, but we're on the final lap here, and it is Jamie Nielsen trailing Andrew Tate. Tate's going to come off the corner there. Tate giving him plenty of room, and Andrew's going to come off with, not quite a rooster tail lead. He's got about 7 or 8 boat lengths on Jamie Nielsen, who's hanging right with him. Then it's back to J. Michael Kelly, then it's back to Jeff Bernard, and then it's back to Corey Peabody and Dave Villwalk. Top end of the race course, the checkered flag is going to fly, and it's going to come down and it's going to wave for Andrew Tate and the U91, the Goodman Real Estate, at least on the water, as we have been told so far. The initial winner of the Apollo Mechanical Cup at Seafair, Andrew Tate, U91, Goodman Real Estate. Second place is going to go to Jamie Nielsen and the Miss Flavor Pack. A good run for J. Michael Kelly in the U8, the Beacon Electric. And how about this one, Jeff Bernard? Is he in the middle of this somewhere? This is going to be interesting to sort out. Jeff Bernard comes home in 4th. Then it's Corey Peabody coming home in 5th position. Off the top end of the race course, I believe that's going to be Dave Villwalk. He is going to come down. And what a run for Gunnar O'Farrell. Gunner's actually been closing here on the inside of Dave Villwalk. Villwalk will come across, and right behind him is Gunnar O'Farrell.
Oh, Gunnar flies it over the start-finish line,
really
honestly.
Fluid.
I mean, the fact that he did that from the rough water, trailing all of those boats, pretty impressive. I mean, he definitely finished the day on a high. Even though he's crossing the finish line last, he made up ground on some pretty fast guys. We'll get a replay on screen here so we can all make our unofficial judgment.
And let's underline the word unofficial. So everything is unofficial here. Here's our clock and what it shows here. This is unofficial again. There's 1, there's 2.
Yeah, it looked like 3 to me.
Yeah, it's going to be really close on Jeff Bernard. Really close on Jeff Bernard. And remember, the clock doesn't strike 0 until it has the 3 hash marks. You clearly got 1. You've got 2.
Ooh.
Oh, right there. Yeah, I think you've got 3. And I think we, at least on the water. Yeah, I've got it official now on the water. Official on the water. The 91 is the winner.
What a weekend for Andrew Tate after we've talked about it a couple times, but he had really a dismal weekend on many levels last weekend in Tri-City. So to come out here, clean sweep, did what he had to do, kept his nerve about him, and just gathered up all the points he possibly could. It's exactly what he needed to get done.
Andrew, congratulations on that run. When we were chatting earlier, you called this weekend a breath of fresh air, and I bet that rings even truer now as you close it out with that performance. How much of this wasn't just wanted but needed?
It's always nice to come home a winner. It's racing, though. Anything can happen. You're going to have highs and lows, and I think staying in the middle somewhere is probably the key, at least mentally and emotionally. But you kind of hit the nail on the head. It's more of a relief. We knew we had a fast boat. We qualified well. We ran well in all the qualifiers. So to put it all together come Sunday afternoon is what really counts. And, nice relief.
And as you crossed the finish line, I was watching your team owner, Bruce Ratchford. He just put his arm in the air and was already celebrating before you got back to the dock. And as we walked over here, I don't think one person didn't stop and congratulate you. How sweet is it to have that support?
Yeah, it's a bit overwhelming, to be honest with you, but really, really cool to see. There's a lot of people here from Goodman Real Estate. There's a lot of people here from Apollo and Bruce Ratchford's company with BWR Racing. To see all the smiles is, it's probably a lot cooler for them than it is for me. Like I said, it's more of a relief to know that I could get the job done and make all those people happy. They definitely deserve it.
Well, go ahead and enjoy and celebrate some more with your team. Congratulations on that performance, and guys, back to you.